didn't earn a lot of money. I mean, he probably couldn't give happiness to the woman. Do you think he's wrong to get married? I think this is a common situation nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how much money is enough? I think that's the big question. I think obviously there's like a basic level that you need. In order to be able to just live, I guess. So, I guess in a sense, okay, if you're not making enough money to pay for your own living expenses, and you have to live at home, or you have to constantly be asking your parents for money, then it probably means that you're not ready for marriage. So I'll say that, okay, at a minimum, you need to be able to make enough money to support yourself. You need to be able to pay for your own food and living. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to work very well if you have to always dependent upon your parents. And then what happens is that then your wife becomes dependent upon your parents as well, and basically your parents can decide everything. Because as long as you are still dependent upon your parents financially, you will be controlled by them. But in marriage, you need to be making decisions. You need to be independent. So I'll say that firstly, you need to be independent of your parents before you can get married. Because marriage needs to be an independent choice. You need to be responsible. It's even if they arranged the marriage in the first place, you are a new family unit, and you need to be responsible for that, and have the finances to be responsible. But I think most most adults in Taiwan can financially support themselves. Am I wrong?
It's changing.
Really?
Yeah. There's a saying called where the young people depend on their parents and kind of like suck up their life savings and stuff.
But that's the thing. I think the reason why is because they live at home and they buy the newest iPhone all the time. Is that? I mean, I think young people they live at home in order to have money to be able to buy the things that they want, which are luxuries, aren't necessities. So I'll say if you can financially look after yourself, and if both of you are willing to live up that standard of living, because that's the thing. There are things which are necessities, and there are things that are luxuries. And I think young people today they want luxuries. They don't just want necessities. And if you are looking to have luxuries in your marriage, then yes, you definitely do need to be making above a certain income, definitely above the minimum. But if you're only looking to live, to survive, and I know that because I came to Taiwan and all of a sudden my wife doesn't have a job. I have a baby daughter, and at that time I was only working part-time. So I was receiving like government would be helping healthcare is mostly free. And the government also gives you like money to be looking after your kids, etc. So what I mean is that I think the government the government knows how much people need in order to survive. And if you're below a certain standard, they'll give you subsidy in order to help you financially. But the thing is that what they give you is not enough for you to have any luxuries. So you can't go and have a nice meal. You can't buy the clothes that you want, but you can still live. So if both of you are willing to live at that level, it's like, okay, it doesn't matter if we have to eat 50块钱便当 every day. If that's what it takes. And so if you're willing to live at the most basic level, then if both of you are willing to, then there's no reason why you can't get married. Because in other countries, in the Philippines, there are people who are living in slums, who make 1/10, 1/10 of what people in Taiwan make. And they get married and they have kids, living in slums. They have a house that is, this room would be big enough for like 5 families. 5 families would be living in a room this size. So that's how they live. And they don't have anything. But almost in a sense, if both of you are willing, so that's the thing. You need to be both willing to be living at the standard that you can financially afford. And so if you can't, then there's no reason why you can't. So yeah, I'll say that there isn't like the only limit is what both of you agree to. When I came back to Taiwan, all of a sudden, I was earning a lot less than I was before. But my wife was okay about it. Because she's like, that's not, money's not what's most important. Money is only what's most important if you make it what's most important. Otherwise, the human race has lived for tens of thousands of years, oftentimes with hardly anything. And they still continue to get married and have children. I think it's places like Taiwan, Japan, Korea, where people are used to living at this kind of standard. And all of a sudden, if you can't make that standard, then it's like, okay, I can't possibly get married or have kids. But then the rest of the world, most of the world is living at this standard. And they continue to have children. So no, I don't think, I think the reason is because we want to enjoy more of what money can give us. And so as soon as you have kids, you just can't. One kid is bad enough, 2 kids even worse. Start having 3 or 4, and basically you can't do anything.